the more I got to thinking about it, it made me realize that we could potentially be on the market for some of these guys, man.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Definitely.
And it really hyped me up. I'm like, woo, baby, all right.
So you like that Tommy Tremble hype a little bit?
I'm digging him.
You got a concern?
No, we'll talk. I'm digging them though. I'm digging them. I like them. I put it like this: seeing it more now makes me understand why Tommy Tremble's name keeps coming up more and more. Like the more I watch him, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense.
Okay.
Because beforehand, it's like I watched him, but I didn't like go back and like in depth, like let me break him down, see what he does well, see what he struggles with, and things like that. It was more so just seeing him in passing.
Yeah.
But now after really looking, I'm like, now it makes perfect sense why everybody's like, yo, this the guy. Which is cool.
You ready for this?
Yeah, man. So you lead us off, right? Yeah, lead us off. What you got?
Oh, I got some sleeper picks. I actually like a lot of these tight ends in that like 4 to 5 to maybe like 8 or 9 range.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Bradley Moore at 5.
Okay.
I was thinking Hunter Long. He just seems to not get as much separation as I would like on some of his routes, but he's a really good contested pass catcher from what I've seen. So I like that. But I like Bradley Moore. He seems more athletic, better in space. And he's also secretly tall. Like, he's thick.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm like, dude, this guy looks like he's like 5'10" or 6 foot out there just because of like how wide he was. But then I checked the height. He's 6'4". So, yeah, I like Bradley Moore at 5.
Okay. So for me, I have Brevin Jordan at 5, the tight end out of Miami. I like his game a lot. I think that I don't think he's a true number 1 tight end, though, based on his size. I think he's 6'3", 245. He's built more like a true like H-back type. You know what I mean? Like think the Hernandez, but I don't think he's as elusive as Hernandez. I think he's I want to call him like a poor man's version of a Kyle Pitts, right? In terms of shorter,
he looked exactly like him, honestly.
But he just the poor man's version of it. Like, so that's why for me I have him at 5, because for Kyle, even though Kyle is listed as a tight end, Kyle isn't your traditional tight end. He's not he's more, I'm going to line this guy up, split out somewhere, and it's going to be a matchup nightmare.
He's Randy Moss.
Right, like that's what he is.
I couldn't believe some of these catches.
Yeah, so when I think of him, I'm like, he makes sense in terms of why he is who he is. So even though he's a tight end by position only, we know he is a legit wide receiver when he runs these routes in his hands. With Brevin, he's the poor man's version of that. And that's why I have him at 5, because it's like, if you're not going to be able to be as elite as Kyle at that one thing, then yeah, I need a little.
So blocking not as good.
Right. You see what I mean?
But like, people even talk kind of highly about Kyle Pitts' blocking. I don't know if you feel the same way.
We're going to see.
At least they say he gives the effort. Right. Is that the main thing?
Yes, effort. Like, with tight ends, you got some that legit will block your head off, right? You think about your George Kittles, right? You got, or in Gronk as well. Then you think about the guys who are more, I'm going to do my job, right? I'm going to position block you. I'm not going to give you this crazy effort. I'll position block you. Travis Kelce, he's that. He's going to get enough in your way, so he's doing his job, but he's never going to try to kill you. He's more so just trying not to get rolled up on. Then you have the guys who, great effort, but still just don't have enough lead in their pencil. And we've seen plenty of those guys. And then we've seen the guys that don't have the effort or the lead in their pencil, and we're not even going to go there. But we already know what that looks like as well, all right? So that's when you saw I started to stop dropping names you saw that, right? I'm just, yeah, we're just going to leave it, yeah. But that's...
I like Ebron, though. I do. Despite all that, I do.
But my thing is, if you're not going to be, like, what Brevin could be a good comp for Ebron. If you want to, I mean, you want to throw him out there, like, sure. But I do think, at least with Brevin, I don't know. I just think that he gives a little bit more in that element of his game.
Sure.
But ultimately, that's why I have him at 5, though. Because
okay,
I'm like, you're not a true number 1 tight end from my perspective. I don't think he's as athletic as, like you said, the Kyle Pitt type or some of these other guys. I think that he still is a really good player, though. But I would like him paired with someone else. Whereas, like, Kyle can be out there by himself. Kyle doesn't matter. I don't need this guy over here and that guy. Like, you do what you do. You're special. So,
okay. Number 4, I have Tommy Tremble. I really like Tommy Tremble, dude. I explained it last podcast. I think he has the upside to be like a really good pass catching tight end too. It seems like he's really athletic, but then also he was like, I think by a lot of accounts, like the number 1 blocking tight end in the nation last year at Notre Dame. And you could just see it, man. But he would just run to the spot, block the dude, and you talk about like Tevin Jenkins, like he would bring that type of ferocity to blocking as a tight end. And I'm telling you, it's weird because they didn't focus on him in the passing game. But every time he would go off routes, like he'd beat defenders and he'd catch the ball. I mean, some people were complaining about drops. I haven't seen every play of him.
Right.
But I like him, dude. I like the upside. So I was gonna say, should I explain my 3 and 4? But I'll get to that, I guess, when we get to 3. But yeah, I think he has upside to be a really good tight end, at least for what we need. Maybe some other teams would have him a little bit lower because I think he is maybe a little bit more of a project at being that all-around tight end. But for what we need, I like him at 4.
Well, I share a similar sentiment. I have Tommy Tremble at 4 as well.
Nice.
I think that he is a high-end number 2.
Yeah.
That's how I view him. I think he's an absolute perfect fit here in Pittsburgh. What he brings, imagine a bigger, more athletic Rosie. Like, when he
like that comp?
Bro, like I watched him and literally I'm just like, that's what he plays like dead serious. You watch him move people, not just create contact, because anybody can create and deliver an initial blow. I've been hit hard plenty of times in football, but if you don't drive your feet and use your hands, I'm just going to throw you off from it. It doesn't matter how hard you hit. He actually knows how to block. He uses hands, he drives, he gets pad level, he hits on the rise, like all the things you want to see. He does that. And then I do agree with you. I don't think that Notre Dame utilized him well enough.
But they had other good tight ends.
They did. And you think about, I mean, just a year ago, they had a first rounder, what was it? Komet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, I think that they could have featured him a lot more from a receiving standpoint because, like you said, he continually gets open. He displays soft hands. I haven't watched every clip, so for the Notre Dame fans, they might feel that he has a drop issue. I haven't seen enough of him to see that just yet. But from what I have seen, he displays natural soft hands. Like, he catches the ball well, and he runs good enough routes. Listen, for a guy not to be viewed as a receiving tight end, he continually is wide open.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at guys like oh man, what's the kid from Ole Miss? Kenny Yebo, I think that's how you say his last name, right? He's open a lot, but it's more schemed that way. They line him up at fullback, and they have it's a trick play that they do where one play he'll run and hit the guy, act like he's blocking. The next time he'll swim the guy and just run downfield, and he's wide open. All his throws are like that. But with Tommy, it's not. Tommy's actually having to run routes. It's not schemed for him. But I also like that Tommy is more of a inline, true, traditional style tight end with good size. 6'4", 248. Well, he probably be about 250. We ain't tripping on that. But I like the fact that he does have the ability to be on the line of scrimmage. Whereas, like with Brevin or with Kyle, it's more like at the NFL level, I see you guys as being space players, off the ball, motion guys, versus actually like sitting here in a 3-point stance with a 6 technique sitting over you. Like, I don't think you really want that. And what I mean by a 6 technique is a linebacker like me, TJ Watt, or you think about Lamar Woodley, where they're just sitting straight over that tight end. And if the tight end goes to move, they put 2 hands on them. We call them the Pominellis, and we know how that ends. It's like, pancake, throw a little surf on it. So I don't think that those guys can do that. Whereas Tommy, I think that he can line up at the end of that line of scrimmage and still handle his business against 4-3 DNs. You think about Cincinnati Bengals, or and obviously the Cleveland Browns, or 3-4 outside linebackers. I like his versatility and the size that he plays with. I think he's more than athletic enough to do that.
Yeah, I'd be good with us picking him. I'd be excited.
Absolutely, man.
My number 3, Brevin Jordan, actually.
Ooh.
And it's for the reasons you said at number 5. Yeah. I think I'm just a little bit more high on it.
Which is fine.
Where you say Kyle Pitts light, I'm like, all right, I'm pretty excited about that. And that's why I have him above Tommy Tremble. You could go back and forth of like,
I went back and forth with him as well. I literally flipped between him, Brevin, and Hunter Long. I was kind of like torn between those 3 because each of them do something that the other one doesn't. And it's just kind of personal preference. Well, what do you like more? For me, I like Tommy's like toughness, edginess, more Tevin Jenkins style. Whereas with Brevin, it's like, I love his athletic ability, but for me, it's kind of like, well, if I can't have the real Sprite, I don't want Sprite Zero. You know what I mean? I want the legit one. I don't want Coke Zero. I want the real Coke. And that's the whole thing when I think of Brevin. It's like, you're nice, but you're just like it's a little watered down. It's, you know?
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking in a vacuum. Like for us, if it was specifically for us, and maybe that's even why I do have Tommy Tremble at 4 is because I am thinking for us, but him versus Brevin Jordan, I'm just thinking as a pass catcher, as just a more refined offensive player, I like Brevin Jordan over Tommy Tremble. Where with Tremble, I think he has more upside for sure.
I agree.
But if you're drafting someone and you're looking for someone like just right off the bat, maybe you'd go Brevin Jordan. But for us, I do like Tommy Tremble. So if this was specifically for the Steelers, I'd maybe bump him up to 3. But just as an overall top 5 list, I was weighing those things. Yeah, you ask me tomorrow, maybe I have him flip-flopped a little bit. But yeah, I like Brevin Jordan. Yeah.
Well, and the thing that I also like is these guys are going to be available to us.
Yeah.
3rd, 4th, 5th round, these guys are going to be available. Don't be surprised if we take one of them. Sure. Like, seriously,
I'd be excited too.
Yes.
Like I was saying, I like the depth at the tight end position this year.
Absolutely. It's sneaky good. It's a sneaky depth. Yeah.
I'm excited for your 3.
Absolutely. But hold on. Before I get to my 3, let me double check the chat. Let's see what these people have. So all of the above says for his top 5 tight ends. At number 5, he has Hunter Long. That's the tight end out of Boston College.
Yep.
At number 4, he went with Brevin Jordan out of Miami. At number 3, Tommy Tremble.
Yep.
At number 2, I'm going to butcher his last name. Was it Freiermuth? I think he said. Pat Freiermuth. Freiermuth?
Yeah.
That's what he said? All right, so the tight end out of Penn State. And then at number 1, he has Kyle Pitts.
Does anyone not have Pitts at 1?
I'm trying.
Does anyone have a hot take?
Yeah, now I'm not. Everybody's looking like Pitts right now. Yeah, Winners even has it. Winners says Brevin at 5. At number 4, he has Yebo. That's the guy I was talking about out of Ole Smith, Kenny Yebo.
Yeah.
Then he has Tommy Tremble at 3, Freiermuth at 2, and then Pitts at 1. Yeah, I don't think anyone has. Yeah, Tremble at 3, Freiermuth at 2, Pitts at 1. No one's touching Pitts at 1. Come on, man. Pitts is undefeated in these streets, baby. Yeah, here we go again. So we have Sammy Reyes, Trey McKitty, Tommy Tremble, Pat Freiermuth, and then Kyle Pitts at 1. Yeah, man. But my thing is, Pitts isn't a tight end. Pitts is just Pitts. Put Pitts over here and just, remember when you come out of high school and you have like athlete? It's like he's not a wide receiver, he's not a DB, he's just athlete. Put Kyle Pitts in just the athlete category.
Actually,
because that's what he is. Like,
depending on how teams play him too, he still might be listed at tight end. He could be a fantasy stud because of that now.
Seriously,
tight end. If he's getting like 1,500 double-digit touchdowns, that'd be a huge advantage.
If you're an OC in the NFL and you use Kyle Pitts as an inline tight end solely, you should be fired on the spot. Like, this dude is a matchup nightmare. And I'm going to make you have to play in big personnel. I'm showing up in 12. I'm showing up in 21 personnel. I want fullback. I want tight end because I want to make you have to put your base personnel defense out there. Why is that important? Because that's going to guarantee me that a linebacker is going to get matched up on Kyle Pitts. And trust me, man, I might line up on the backside of the formation and motion them to that slot strong, make you have to adjust and then walk on out there, mismatch. Might line them up on the strong side, make them run across to that weak side slot formation, make that will linebacker have to walk out. You might get you a pass rusher walking up on it, depending on the defense. You know how the Steelers, we've had some situations where we didn't have to walk out on that before. It's not fun. But that's how I'm using him. Trust me, he would never be lined up on that end where somebody could touch him. This dude is going to be just getting the matchups that we want. Yeah, because he's a freak. He's a freak. But that's why he's an athlete. Just put him as an athlete. But yeah, that's where everybody has him at number 1. Can't go wrong with that.
For sure.
All right, so it's back on you. You got to get number 3, right?
No, you got to say your 3.
Who's your 3? Who's your number 3?
I said Jordan, Brevin Jordan.
Oh, you did say Brevin. Okay, perfect. So for me, I went with Hunter Long out of Boston College. I like his game a lot. I think he's a true number 1 tight end. I love his size, 6'5", 253. Yeah. Now, he's not as athletic as some of these other guys, right? But I just love how he's really good in terms of his combat catching.
Oh, yeah.
He's great in terms of high pointing the ball, catching in the crowd.
Like a better Jesse James almost.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Like, I think a more athletic version of Jesse James. Yes, indeed. He has the size to be a good NFL pass blocker as well. And the reason why with these collegiate guys, I always just say they have the size. And a similar conversation I said with running back is because at the collegiate level, the edge rushers aren't the same. They aren't as skilled. It's certain things that just collegiately you can get away with that at the NFL level, a guy will just, take you to the watershed and just wear you out with it. But he does have good size to hold up against some of these guys, especially against 4-3 DNs. That's the big thing, right? When you're talking about the tight end position as it pertains to run game, as it pertains to pass protection, how can he hold up against 3-4 outside linebackers and 4-3 DNs? Because those body types are drastically different. I want to make sure he's nimble enough, fast enough to handle an outside linebacker who's going to typically be thinner, smaller, but faster. But I need you to have the size and the length and the long arms to handle these long 6'6", 6'7" DNs and you got to have girth so that way they're not just mauling you. He, like, watching him, he has all of that. It looks good. And that's why, for me, I have him at number 3. I just think that, man, you get him in the right situation. Pittsburgh would be a nice situation for him as well.
Sure.
It's like he can develop. I think that, like I said, he could be a true number 1 tight end. One of those guys you're just like, yeah, this dude, he's legit.
Yeah, I like
feel like
him
he
too.
could be that, man.
I like him too. Yeah, he just didn't make my top 5. But another name I like was
but it's a deep cut, like
Matt Bushman. I liked him out of BYU.
So think about, you talk about Matt Bushman, right? I think of him. I think of the like I said, obviously the kid from Ole Miss, and it's like these guys didn't even make my list, but
they should be
class,
there
right?
at the 4th or 5th round. It just so happens we could use a tight end too at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Where it's not like something, if we miss out, or like we have our tight end 1 with Eric Ebron, so we don't necessarily need the Pitts or Freiermuth right now.
Right.
But we could take any one of these dudes in the later rounds. But it would be a really good asset to have, I think, for the Steelers next season.
I think it would be a legit steal if we were able to get one of these guys we're talking about in our top 5 in the
4th round. Yeah,
without a doubt. I think 4th round, because we got 2 4th round picks. If one of those 4th round picks you utilize on one of those guys, man, that is amazing value right there.
Yeah,
I love that value.
Yeah, you take care of line, running back, maybe cornerback those first 3 rounds, or maybe line 2 times, running back, and then the tight end. That fills up some of those holes we've been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, my number 2.
Oh, before we go though, somebody just shouted you out too, man.
What's up?
Original Ox says you been low key getting your football knowledge up. Just want to shout you out, bro.
I'm getting there, dude.
Shout out, bro.
I watched some highlights.
Y'all pay some respect to my man Deke. Deke been on his grind. Deke said, listen.
I'm grinding the tapes.
Deke said, man, I'm ever evolving. He said, you either get better or you get worse. His arrow is pointed up. I like this. He's consistently been above the line. He's giving us varsity, baby. That's how you Deke, bro. That's big Deke energy. No more small Deke. Big Deke energy, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely,
I'll defer to you on a lot of this stuff for sure. There's a few things I'm kind of stand pat on, you know that, but yeah, I'll get the knowledge up a little bit. It's mainly highlight watching and then just feeling it out, seeing what other people say, and then just getting a general thing.
Eyeball test.
Yeah,
test. I think I do a decent job with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, as long as it doesn't pertain to Ben, you're pretty good. When it's Ben, it's like, oh, and I didn't even see it, but baby bro shouted you out too. It's my little brother Kelvin. Shout out Kelvin. He says taco meat deep with the knowledge. I ain't even peep it was taco meat deep. Oh yes. Yeah. We got big deep taco meat energy today.
I appreciate it, man.
Oh man, I like it, bro.
Day. It's a good day.
It is, right?
Yeah. So we got the same top 2 then, for sure. Freiermuth. They say Baby Gronk. I don't know if I'm seeing this completely.
Okay, go ahead.
But I do see. Maybe that's why they call him Baby Gronk, because it's not Gronk completely. But I see some tenacity there.
That's Arizona State Gronk.
Yeah,
that's what that is right now.
That's a tough comparison. Like no one's gonna live up to Gronk.
No. Don't think of Gronk at the NFL level. Think of Gronk coming out of Arizona. Arizona State.
He was a 2nd round pick.
Like that's what Pat looks like though. Like similar, 6'5", 260. He's a legit number 1. Can definitely block. Can catch the ball. Like he has everything. Like his route running, I
actually might be better.
This is my thing.
Right?
I like him as a tight end more than I like Kyle Pitts as a tight end.
Sure.
I like
get what
Kyle
you're saying.
Pitts though as just a better athlete, and that's why I said like to me, Kyle Pitts should just have ATH next to his name, like he's coming out of high school, because he's not a traditional tight end. Pat, if this is any other year, Pat is the number 1 guy right now. Because Pat is going to be able to play true inline tight end. You could split him out. You could motion him. He could be at the point of attack. He could be on the backside. He could run whatever route you need him to run. He's a matchup nightmare. And in the red zone, he is dominant. Like, this is the guy. Part of me was even like,
we'd have to trade Ebron.
Well, no.
I jumped the gun, huh?
No, you wouldn't have to trade Ebron. No. I just looked at it like this. I was like, if this is any other year, or if we did a little bit different in free agency, I could easily be making a case that the Steelers should trade up in that 2nd round to get him, because he'll be available in the 2nd. I don't think he's going 1st round.
Yeah.
You don't need him at 24, but you could get him. I feel like around that 40, 45 range. And if you're sitting the Steelers at 55, and this, like I said, not this year, because we got to get a running back. We got to go offensive line.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of boxed in right now with those 2, O-line, running back, and then you can flirt with corner, or, if you want to go linebacker, however you want to flirt with those later on. But I just think you got to go O-line, running back, those first 2, whichever combination you want. But if that wasn't the case,
sure,
man, I would be over here like, yo, we need Pat ASAP. This is the guy you want. Even though Ebron is here, if you put him with Ebron, now we're talking Gronk Hernandez vibes, right? Not to the same extent, because obviously different styles. We don't have that Hernandez quote unquote style player, but think of a 2 tight end set where you're able to really dominate and run an offense like that. I mean, I would be down for it. You know what I mean? And then even
things would be interesting in the receiver room then.
Right, but you gotta think this will only be for another year, because after that, Ebron will be gone. And then you go back to running your exotic sets with just your 1 tight end. So you have the flexibility. Also, you would make Ebron have to play a lot better and more consistent. You can't have those drops now when you got this guy sitting there. But when you got that on the side, them drops, that gets old real quick.
I would like getting him, dude. Whenever I saw him, I was thinking the same thing.
I would too. It's just we have to get an O-line. And we have to get a running back. Unless we don't have to get a running back. I mean, the team could say, they could say this. They could say we go O-line at 24, trade up in the second round to get Pat, and then third round you go Michael Carter. Third round fourth round you can go Chuba Hubbard. You go Trey Sermon. You put that guy in the mix with what we already have, upgraded O-line. Then you go O-lineman, and then with your 2 4th-round picks, one of those go O-line as well. Now you still can make it work. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can see it. I'm torn.
I think you'd be most excited if we get him, right?
I would.
You're really pumped.
I would. Because I love these type of tight ends. I want to, because I know what it does to a defense. Not just my position, because obviously we played against these guys and they are nightmares. But defensively, when you have to account for a tight, like, you would much rather it's a stud wide receiver. Because you can account coverage-wise. You still don't have to, like, make one-offs for your defense. You don't have to have these wacky matchups where, okay, I want you to cover him, but now you're going to have to be in a bind because if it's a run play, you don't
have to worry about pass and run with receiver. It's just worry about the pass.
Whereas when it's a tight end like this, now I got to ask myself, okay, am I going to go with a big nickel type look where I have a small secondary guy, but I put a DN out here to kind of beat him up a little bit, but now I still got to worry about run fits? I don't like that. Do I go with a bigger body guy, stay base personnel? No, because it's a matchup nightmare. He's going to cook this guy. So now you see, okay, well, do I have a safety on the roster that can really match up with him? Remember, we tried to do Sean Davis against Gronk. In theory, it sounded good until we saw in the clutch moments where it was like, bro, Gronk is a man. And I just remember this. I'll never forget it. I was like, yo, don't even throw the flag. No, he earned that. Yeah, don't throw that flag. He earned that. I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? Certain ones just like, yo, you got that. Yeah, you earned that. Pat yourself on the back. But that's what Pat is. Pat makes you, if you're a coordinator, you're just like, oh, I hate this guy right here, because it's going to make you compromise your defense. It's going to make you have to play very uncomfortable, have to do something left-handed that you just don't want to do. But that's what he is. And that's why I'm just like, if he's here with 7 and
change
Juju,
plans.
You see what I mean? Big difference. But I just don't think that they're gonna pass up on O-line and running back in those first 2 rounds. I just don't think they'll do it. Even though I would love if that scenario worked out.
What if you did trade Ebron for like a 3rd round or something?
But I don't want to trade Ebron right now, though.
Okay.
I just personally don't, because I just don't. I personally think
you'd just rather have him on the roster, even if we drafted him 2nd round.
I like them both together, at least for that 1 year. Especially when I think of pandemic first year, or not even pandemic first year, just the soft strike, no OTAs first year as well. Like, it's just a lot that
just
can
a little bit of a backup.
Yeah, I just want to have it so it's not the full load that he has to bear year 1, day 1 of, all right, you got to be the guy. I don't want that feeling. You know what I mean? But he can accomplish that here with that.
In his 2nd year, potentially.
Mm-hmm. And then next year he takes off, and next year he's the man.
I'd be good with it.
Ebron's gone, Cap's going up, so now we can get even more pieces. Come on, man.
Now we don't have to worry about tight end.
Come on, man.
I'm good with it.
That's your Heath Miller for the next 10 years.
Okay.
Dude, I can see it,
more
man.
Athletic, though, too.
Listen. You go Tevin. You can go Tevin. You can go Walker. You can go Elijah at 1 at 24. You trade up to about, like I said, you're going to have to get 40, 45 range. So you're moving up about 10 picks. Trading up, though, you got to go get him. You get him.
You'd rather trade up for him than a running back?
I personally would. Just because I know I can get a Michael Carter. I know I can get a Trey Sermon. I know I can get a Ramondre Stevenson.
You're that high on him. Like, you're really excited.
Well, put it like this.
I mean, I am too. But
I just feel like his impact is going to be stronger and longer than any of these running backs we're talking about. We said with ETN, with Najee Harris, best case, you get 4 prime years. We talked about this. We went down. We said, you look at Zeke, you look at Elbow, you look at Gurley. We could go down the list of all these top backs that have set the league on fire. They literally had a 3 to 4 year legit run of dominance. And then after that, they all kind of started to trend down. Some fell completely off that cliff. Whereas with tight ends, you're talking 10 to 12 year. The shelf life is way longer, and we know what a dominant tight end can do. We're still seeing Gronk still be an effective guy, and we know this dude gonna be in a wheelchair, eventually, about just with all the injuries he's dealt with, but he's still a factor. He's still an X factor. Jimmy Graham, nowhere near as athletic as he was when he was in New Orleans, right? But he's still an X factor. It's certain guys in certain positions, just like, bro, this is one of them. And he's one of those guys. So that's why for me, I'm like, I would love it. Then you go get, like I said, a Michael Carter or one of these backs that we've named in that 4th round. Because if you're trading up, you're probably going to have to give up one of those 4th round picks, which is fine. But you got 2 4th round picks. So if you did a combination of something from, like I said, your 4th round pick this year, your 3rd round pick next year, or however you want to do it to move the 10 spots, cool. But then with that next 4th round pick, I get my running back. Then from there, the rest of the draft, all right, I'm going to get me an extra lineman just for the sake of it. I'll get me a linebacker or some type of edge. And then from there, we're going to roll with it, man. That's what I'm feeling right now,
Something to look out for.
It is, man. Yeah.
We got anything else on Pitts?
Because he's a problem, bro.
We kind of talked about Pitts. I don't know if there's anything else. Like he's going to go, top 5, top 10?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a walk-in matchup nightmare. Rangy, super athletic. I mean, we know what he is. He's only wide receiver by... I mean, he's tight end only by position classification. This dude, he's a beast, though.
Like Plexico Burress, people were comparing him
seriously,
to. But then he was mossing people,
bro.
too. Like, it was, yeah.
He looks like a legit wide receiver.
And what he run? He ran like a 4.4, 4.3
It was
low
4.4s, yeah. Dude's a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver. Listen, if I'm on defense and coach says, hey, we're going to run tight Sammy 33, that's our base cover 3 package, right? And I get to walking out here. And I'm like, oh, coach, wait a minute, baby. That's Kyle Pitts, baby. We need to check this ASAP. Because I should never be walked out on this guy. I should never have to see this guy because he's a wide receiver. That's the type of energy I'm at. I'm over here. I'll probably walk over and rough Butts up like, hey, Butts, come on, baby. What are you doing? You trying to get me fired? I got a wife and kids, plural. Don't do this. This is how you get me fired. This is how you get me out the league,
I'm not trying to look bad on social media.
You know what I'm saying?
Either.
Like, don't you do me like that. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Kyle is. And any linebacker that matches up against him is going to look like such. It is what it is. Smack your coordinator if he puts you out there. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
You gotta let him know.
We have multiple strategies then. Yeah. It's like you trade up in the 2nd. Then we don't have to worry about that tight end in the 4th or 5th round at all. But then you got to worry about running back. So this is a new strategy,
But at running back, knowing worst case, if it doesn't work out, it's only this year. We still have a committee approach. We could go with Benny Snell, McFarland, Balaj, Samuels, or if you want, no, seriously,
5 running backs.
No. But like those are the 4 guys, right? That combination, right? Or we talked about you bring in a Trey Sermon, let him compete with Jalen Samuels or Kalen Balaj. You bring in a Chuba Hubbard or one of those guys, let them compete. You just added another element to it, right? But we know at running back, we said the teams that have won Super Bowls, they haven't had a feature running back. No, it's
last
been,
year.
It's been by committee. You think about what New England was doing, it was by committee. You think about what the Eagles did, it was by committee.
Tampa.
So we can legit do the exact same
Chiefs,
thing.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm saying in terms of why it doesn't necessarily have to be, you picking guaranteed in that 2nd round running back because you have that.
Actually, this goes to your 2nd round tight end thing, though. Think of the Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
Eagles, Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, Kelsey.
We know the Patriots.
49ers were in the Super Bowl. Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle, yeah.
Yeah, Patriots and then Bucks, Gronk, too.
Mm-hmm. I'm serious, man.
I'm
serious, dude.
We finding the secret X factor for these Super Bowl teams.
Who was the tight end? Was Gonzalez the tight end when the Falcons went against the Patriots?
Oh, I don't know if he was still around.
I don't know if he was still there. Who was the tight end down there?
I don't know.
I had to look into that.
He might have been. I don't think he was.
I think he missed it.
I think the stories would have been way bigger about Gonzalez finally potentially getting a Super Bowl ring. I don't remember that.
But
over the past 4 or 5 years, we just talked about some of those teams.
You got to have a tight end, bro. That's an X factor. That's what we were hyped about Ebron, but Ebron still, he doesn't catch consistently enough to be like that. And obviously, there's other little things about his game that, make people just feel a little bit different about him.
Are we missing any Super Bowl teams? Carolina, Greg Olsen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was prime. He was prime-ish.
It was Broncos. Did they have Julius Thomas still? whenever they beat the Panthers?
I don't remember if he was gone by then or not.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I mean, still.
Yeah, but dude, tight end is a legit position.
Because who the hell was the Broncos running back? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Who was the Panthers running back? Was it a combination of
Stewart still?
Stewart,
yeah, Stewart was
but
on
still,
there.
I mean, he wasn't like a top 20 running back at that point. It might be tight end, the secret formula.
Serious, dude.
We might have just found it out.
Tight end, man. Because it's a matchup nightmare. Like, as a D coordinator, you hate athletic, rangy tight ends. You hate them. Because it's nothing you can do with it. You're going to have to put, like I said, you're going to put yourself in a bind somewhere. And if that team has a running back that, okay, he can legit run that rock, then you're screwed. Yeah, it just, you can't stop that. You're going to be asking this safety or this corner, this nickel to have to play 4-down linebacker as well as cover this freaky athlete. Like, that's not what they're built for, man.
I'm all about it now. I just talked myself into it.
You've talked me into it, man. I'm all in.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm all in, man.
Okay.
We want the tight end.
Freiermuth is on the board now. Like he's
the guy, bro. I want him. I'm sorry, I want him, man.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there, bro.
I'm into it now. Yeah.
He's gonna be available in that second round. He's gonna be available around that 40, 45 range. He'll be there.
Okay. We'll watch for it.
Will they trade up? I don't know, but I would totally do it. And like I said, Michael Carter, I'm looking at him because I say what
he was in our top 5. He was 4 for both of us.
So out of the running backs that we currently have, what are we missing?
Yeah, it could be him and Snell, maybe. Yeah,
right. We thought McFarland was going to do that. He really didn't that first year. But I've already said I feel like Michael Carter could come in, man. He could be your punt returner.
He's way smoother than McFarland too.
Way smoother. Can actually like run like because we said McFarland's like the road runner. It's like his feet just keep and he slides out everywhere, man. But with Michael, he looks like he's just always under control.
Yeah.
Even though he's small, he doesn't really take shots. You hardly ever see him just get hit. Like, I would love it, man. Like, if that's how the top 3 picks worked out, where it's Tevin, and then it's Pat, and then you get Michael in those first 3, in terms of Tevin Jenkins, the tackle out of Oklahoma State, Pat Freiermuth, the tight end out of Penn State, and then Michael Carter, the second running back out of UNC. If those are our top 3 picks, I'd be good.
Okay.
I'd be good.
Okay.
I'd be good. I'm telling you, I'd be good.
Back in that Super Bowl contention then, huh?
Oh yeah, we'll be talking.
Okay,
we would definitely be talking.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Because even more so with this, with Pat at tight end, I don't have to worry about Ben having to stretch it to a wide receiver. Stretching the field with the wide receiver is different than stretching the field with the tight end, just in terms of their route concepts and stuff like that. But we said Ben is still fired intermediate to short. He's never losing. He's not losing that. It's the deep ball that we're worried about. With Pat, man, he's gonna kill you on that intermediate. He's gonna destroy anything in there. And then every once in a while, he could take the shot deep, which would be fine. But as a whole, I just think that it makes the offense, it would be more dynamic. And I think Matt Canada would love him. Mike Canada, he would blast with him.
Sweet. I'm pumped now.
But how do you feel? I mean, that's a Penn State guy. You're really talking up a Penn State guy. I thought it was hell to Pitt, man.
It is, but I mean,
he said it is.
It is, but hey, once you join the Steelers, all that's out the window. All yeah, right. I don't give a shit.
All right, just check because like, for me, like, if you're a William Murray guy, like, I still got an issue with you. Like,
oh, okay.
Being Coach Tomlin, it's like, I like you. He likes me, but it's like, I don't like him. He doesn't like me because, he's a William Murray guy. I'm a JMU guy. Like, yeah, if I see a Richmond Spider, I'm just like, bro, I almost lost, like, my best friend recently. He started coaching for my rival team, Richmond. I'm like, bro, like, you my dog. Like, love you, but I don't talk to you right now because you're with them. What are you doing? Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, it's just certain ones like that. Yeah. Things. So hearing a Pitt guy talking about a Penn State guy with all this smile, all this, you giddy over there, man.
I see him helping the Steelers. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Okay. And shout out to I'm gawking a Penn State guy, knowing that they ain't even offer me.
Shut you down.
They shut me down. Joe Paul looked me in the eye, poked by the glass. Hey, man, I really like what you did out there. You look great, man. You're flying around. Good work. It's a pleasure to meet you. Say, huh? No. You skipped that part. I meant thank you, right? Thank you. I'll accept the scholarship. No, that's not what you're saying. Yeah, so you know how I feel about Penn State. You know what I mean? But it's like, dang, like this dude is nice though, man. He's legit.
Baby Gronk. That'd be sick to have on the Steelers.
I would love it.
Yeah,
I'm for it. Like I said, he has my vote, man.
Okay, I'm down too. I'm down too. Yeah.
I like it, man. So shoot.
Is that all we got?
That is, dude.